And
I
welcome.
thought you said you were going to stop starting the episodes with singing.
No, it wasn't singing. I was practicing my vocal range.
Oh, okay.
Vocal
All
range.
right.
So that I can get all of the different ranges while I talk.
Voice of an angel.
Thank you. I know. I appreciate. Oh, so one thing I've been doing lately too, I've been doing karaoke via Garageband, like into my mic when I start getting drunk. Like I have the music like on a YouTube and I like hold it up and I've been doing karaoke recording myself. Just so I can hear what it sounds
so
like back.
Exciting. And you call me boring.
I ain't gardening in my fucking yard, yo. Like
I'm beautifying my house.
Okay,
what is your go-to GarageBand karaoke song?
So a little back on that is that I used to love going to karaoke. Like in my 20s, like that was my jam. Like we always go to fucking
karaoke is my least favorite thing to do in the entire world.
I love it. I really wanted us to do a karaoke party at some point in time too, but you don't have to sing. Maybe a couple drinks. But anyways, I'm actually a pretty decent singer depending on the song. Like I can't like do crazy stuff, but I sing country. And it's Fancy by Reba McEntire and Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes Up by Garth Brooks are my two karaoke songs. Oh, and Cheater Cheater is my other one too, which is a really good one. But those are my faves to do.
Country is my other least favorite thing in the world.
Well, that's why we're yin and yang. We and speaking of yin and yang, this is Tia, the one that loves karaoke and country.
And this is Stacy, and I absolutely fucking hate it.
So see, what we give you the best of both worlds on Meet Us on Main Street. So if you're a country lover, hey-o, I'm here for you. And if you're a country and karaoke hater, Stacy's there.
You know, if you ever want to talk about like indie rock or alternative or even jazz, I love some jazz.
I like all that.
Talk to me.
I like everything. I like all music except for death metal because at least every other thing sounds like you're actually singing, where it literally just sounds like your voice is in a blender while you're trying to sing a death metal song.
That we can agree on that.
And everything's in drop D and like it's just someone going I hope that turns up really well. So this is also actually our first episode that we will also be Stacy will with Edgewater Creative will be putting together podcast recording. So you actually get to see what we look like while we're doing the podcast. So you got to see that epic like hello.
Hi everyone. Welcome to Meet Us on Main Street. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Tia, the kratomed up one.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome back to our show. So as you may have noticed, if you've listened to our previous 10 episodes, we are a podcast about all things local, business, charities, events, mostly in the Dunedin area, but also surrounding areas as well. We're starting to branch out, but not quite yet. Baby stepping.
The Tampa Bay, Florida region.
Exactly.
If
but
you're
not too much Tampa.
Listening, well, we're in the Bay Area.
Bay Area.
For those that are, we have some listeners in Ireland and New Zealand.
New Zealand.
So
none in Mars though, which kind of just, I really thought Mars was going to be our strongest following, but
yeah. Well,
I know it's very
can't
upsetting.
have it all.
So what I'm talking about is on Anchor, they actually give you the graphical showing of who your listeners are. And they even let you go as far as like other planets. But I'm telling you what, if one day all of a sudden I see one listener on like Venus, I'm probably going to freak the fuck out. And like I knew there were aliens. How do you feel about aliens, Stacey?
They're out there.
I knew you were going to say that the truth is out there.
I was just watching the movie The Big Sick last night.
I love that movie so much.
Yeah, I know, it's so good.
It's so cute. And it's like based off the true story of his like marriage. So I love it even more because of that.
And so, you know, his parents are trying to arrange his marriage.
Yes, that one.
And so like the one girl that comes over to dinner that just drops in, she's like,
yeah,
he likes the X-Files. She's like, the truth is out there.
I know. I love that part so much because she's just very into it, like the truth is out there. Anyways, so Stacy, what you been doing? What kind of work stuff? Anything fun? Any good videos out there?
We just wrapped up a chamber spotlight video. So we partner with the Dunedin Chamber of Commerce and do their monthly chamber business spotlight videos every month. And we just did one on the House of Mercy and Encouragement Foundation, which is located in Dunedin, and it is a nonprofit counseling center for children and families. And it came out really well. We had to change up our format a little bit with COVID-19. You know, we no longer do our interview format was side by side, but now we had to spread things out. But I like how it came out. It's very Dateline looking. So you can check it out on the Edgewater Creative Facebook page or on the Dunedin Chamber of Commerce Facebook page or website.
And then speaking of the Dunedin Chambers, Meet Us on Main Street is now partnered with Dunedin Chambers to...
That's right. We are a member of the Dunedin Chamber of Commerce now.
We are. So look forward to hearing or seeing some stuff related to them because we love all things Dunedin, obviously, and we will be doing some stuff with them in the near future. So
definitely
stay tuned for that. Very cool. Well, I'm glad you're keeping busy while you're quarantining.
Yes, yes. I'm still quarantining. You're the more adventurous one, and you've been getting out and about. But I am still in my bubble.
Yes.
But I will be out there again someday soon,
finally.
Hopefully. So I do have some health issues, so I have to be careful. So that's why I'm still locked away like a recluse.
For our listeners, she's actually just using that as an excuse to become 80 and garden all day long. Do you garden like how Morticia Adams does by like chopping heads off of roses and then just taking the stems and placing them in a vase?
No, I don't do that. I have a battle right now going with some oak saplings in my yard. So exciting to talk about on a podcast.
It is. Oh my God. Who's winning? You or the oak saplings? Like, can I place money on this? Like, Stacy versus the oak sapling. That's going to be our next Stacy and Tia do stuff. We're going to be fighting oak saplings.
Along with my yard work, I have been doing workouts on Peloton, and there's some boxing workouts. So, you know, the two go hand in hand.
So what she's saying is that when you do finally see Stacy out, don't fuck with her because she's been boxing this last like 3 months now. So I'm
basically in prison right now. You know, they like focus on...
Oh, is that where you're at?
Yeah, they focus on, you know, exercise like in the yard and
you're literally
gardening.
The yard.
Like some prisons have garden programs. So
well, now you just need a bird that like stays on your shoulder and
is that a common thing in prison?
I saw it in Shawshank.
So what have you been up to, Tia? You have been out and about and leading a more exciting life. I will say, so for anyone that follows our Facebook page, anytime you see a Facebook post that says, guess which co-host is out right now? I'll give you a hint. It's not going to be me.
Not her. Well, Saturday was actually really fun. Because I've been avoiding Dunedin on weekends because like people have been quarantined for a little bit of time and they needed to relearn their manners. And also I'm not a huge fan of like super big crowds. Like it's just annoying, and traffic. I fucking hate traffic. So I was just trying to like stay out of the weekends, but I finally actually went out on a weekend yesterday. I had a lot of fun. Me and John walked around. We went to Dunedin Coffee Company, which was fucking awesome. Finally got back there. Then I went to Clear Sky, got my favorite zucchini fries, got to eat like at the place, which is fucking awesome. And then I went to Hob for a beer afterwards to like circle it all up. So it was nice. It's really great to get back out into Dunedin. Like it's just nice, and it's starting to feel a little bit more normal and
Yeah.
It's not as like, even when I was going out during quarantine, which I mean, I haven't stopped going out. But it was still, it was a lot more awkward because everything was to go and you didn't know who to stand near and where to walk. And so it's starting to feel a lot more normal when you go back out. So another thing too, one other thing I love about going out into the town, I ran into Danielle in her golf cart when we were walking over to Dunning Coffee. And so I saw her. And then I also saw a girl that John works with at CUNY named Erin, like when I was sitting over at Hob. Like, so you're like, you just sit there. And then I also saw Andy too while I was there at Hob and like it was chatting with him. And it's great. Like, you don't have to actually have friends to go out in Dunedin because most of your friends will already be there and you're probably going to run into like one or two people that you can sit and chat with. It's just such a friendly town. So it's nice.
It is.
Other than that, I've gotten to actually start planning a little bit again for events. Me and Danielle finally have a date. Danielle will be back on our show, Danielle Duffy. We have a launch party. We run a nonprofit called TD Birthday Treasures, which is partnered with Dunedin Cares. And we create boxes for underprivileged families so that they can celebrate a birthday. So we're doing a launch party at Thirsty Falcon on August 15th, and it's going to be a superhero theme. So I get to like decorate and design and get all that stuff going. So that's a lot of fun. I love when I have a party on my radar. So hopefully for our next virtual movie night, so we have cut back on our virtual movie nights since everything's starting to come back out and like open again, but we are still going to keep doing them because we have a lot of fun. So one of them that's coming up is Brian, who's our perma guest on our virtual movie nights, has a bartender friend, and they're going to do like Big Lebowski style drink, but I would like them to show me more than just a White Russian because I'm quite fluent in White Russians. So I would like something new that I don't know how to make. I used to drink those all the time.
They should make a drink called the Jesus.
Why? Is that one of the characters' names? I've only seen it once. It's been a while.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. You've never seen the Goonies. So never talk shit ever again. If you don't watch our virtual movie nights, my co-host has never seen the Goonies. She's shrugging her shoulders of uncaring care. She has just caused us to lose half our listenership. So anything else fun, new, or exciting?
Not really. I don't lead a very exciting life these days, but I did start writing again. So
That's cool.
Been writing some short stories. On Medium, they have a publication called The Weekly Nub, and they have like different prompts so you can write a short story every week. So I've done a couple of those. And
even if you're not like doing things like super active and out, like you're doing stuff that you love doing and you're finally able to like get back to do that. So that's still like, how many times in our lives do we neglect these hobbies we like because we're working so much? Alrighty. Well, that's enough about us. Stacy, would you like to introduce our guest for?
I absolutely would.
Well, go ahead.
That was very much like sweaty ball ladies.
Oh, I have to post that too. So last note before she introduces is that I will be posting a video of her and a couple other people from, was it an improv group or an acting class?
It was an acting class. It was our showcase.
And they do this scene from SNL with the sweaty balls, and Stacy is absolutely fantastic. Her male co-host is lacking, but you and the other girl were really good. Like, you said everything at the same time, and I really believed you were Molly Shannon up there, or the other one. I don't know which one was which, but okay. Either way, I believed it. All right, anyways, back to our guest.
Back to life, back to reality. Sorry. Okay, so our guest today is Alicia Smith with Amelia's Apothecary. Hi, we're here with Alicia Smith, owner of Amelia's Apothecary. Welcome, Alicia.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm awkward. This
That's the most honest answer anyone's ever given us.
Yeah.
Right in my realm. And I've been listening to the other podcasts to get a feel of what people talk about and how they speak. And it doesn't matter. I'm still just.
Oh, we're switching yours totally up too. So it'd be nothing like them.
Yeah. I hope you're ready for the new format, which no one's ever heard before.
Right.
Remember those questions I sent you? Throw them all out.
Those were just trick questions.
What are your thoughts on heaven? No.
How do you feel about our political environment at this moment?
Thoughts on that too.
Oh, we all have thoughts. It's just and opinions.
I want to keep them in.
Exactly.
Well, we'll start with an easy question, and that is, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come to settle in our great city of Dunedin?
Oh, this is why I would feel awkward because I don't like talking about myself. But notes. My husband and I are from Omaha, Nebraska, which is contrary to many beliefs, not rural. Our city and its surrounding areas was about 1 million people. And we were born there, raised there. We met in high school and continued dating. And then in 2015, when I found out I was pregnant, we came here to look for a place to temporarily come and get breaks from the terrible Nebraska winters. And it just ended up being the place we liked. We looked all over. We went down to Madeira, we went down to St. Pete, we went over to Tampa, and ultimately every time just kept coming back to Dunedin because it had such a cool small town feel, but walkability was good, and it just was a good fit for us. So we bought a place to come 3 or 4 times a year, and then after we had our daughter, Emelia, we decided that we want to stay here. We don't want to go back home. I don't want to go back to Nebraska. Do you want to go back to Nebraska? Both of us were of the same sentiment that no, we did not. And we decided to move. And I sold, we had 2 businesses in Omaha that we sold. We sold our home in Omaha and moved here and have settled early 2017, which is crazy because even though we've only been here little over 3 years, so much has changed and grown even since we've been here. So that's been really cool to experience and be a part of.
Definitely,
The number one question is all you had to ask was do you want to shovel your car out of snow every morning?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
And down here, it's just a lot more laid back. The people are super friendly, and not that the people weren't friendly in Nebraska. It's just a different vibe here. It's a laid back beach vibe, unpretentious. We really like that feeling.
That's actually really nice because I've heard from a lot of people that they say Floridians are assholes. So I like when someone says that we're nice.
Well, no, it's only because it's the people from the asshole states.
Gotcha. Which we all know who those are. We won't mention them.
I'm not going to name states. I'm not going to name
Boston.
The types.
Sorry. What?
I mean, I may be from one of the states where the asshole types come from. But again, I'm not going to name states. So,
locals and natives here are so nice. They are, I no complaints from me.
So you mentioned up north, you guys had 2 businesses. What kind of businesses did you have up there? Were they apothecary related or?
Kind of. When I early age of 19, graduated from hair and skin cosmetology school, and so that was what I originally went into, and I wanted to be one of the first places to have a green spa, an eco-friendly, sustainable, no chemical synthetics. I've been a vegetarian for 15 years, and I didn't want anything that was tested on animals. So that at the time when I was trying to push for that was new, and so a friend of mine, good friend of mine, and I opened a salon and spa, and we, that was our shtick, I guess, if you want to call it that, was that we only did services that were more on the organic side and clean. But when you have a business partner, you are limited, obviously, to how far you can go with something that you are passionate about. So I had that, and I did that for quite a few years, and I got into making my own products and doing a lot with the outer body in regards to plant medicine. and obviously got farther with it once I had my daughter. And then my husband had a cigar lounge, which has nothing to do with any of this, and I don't like smoking at all.
So you were beautifying the body, and he was just turning it the opposite way.
Like a very dark, sinister way of looking at business, if you think about it. Right?
The yin and the yang at the house.
Yeah.
So, that was it. But we're very different. He did his thing, I did mine. I think I always, with herbalism especially, I always like to be very open and vocal that I did not grow up with this at all. And I like telling people that, because then, other herbalists I'm so inspired by have these beautiful stories that I used to walk the fields with my grandmother, and she helped me with plant identification. And then my mother helped me. And that was not my situation at all. I was the kid in line at Taco Bell. I mean, that was the 90s, and that's how we were. But I like telling people that, because it means that just because you weren't exposed to it, you can absolutely pursue it now. And it's not an all or nothing thing. So that's what I like.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do enjoy stories like that also, where it's you didn't have, it shows that you actually worked for it and had, a passion that you worked toward, as opposed to just, as a young child, just being around it and going along all your life with what you grew up with.
Lovely, but I had a great, no complaints. My childhood and my Taco Bell were lovely. We had a great time.
And then of course you went to school for skin and stuff, because your skin is absolutely glowing and fabulous every time I see you. So you can definitely tell that you care about
beautiful skin.
It is.
Now that we have our episodes on YouTube, also everyone can see your beautiful glowing skin.
The glowing
Not to sound like a creeper. And you're drinking out of your beautiful Amelia's Apothecary mug. And you said before you're drinking tea. Which tea are you drinking?
Today's tea. I made a little custom blend because I was nervous about doing this. This is not. I just want to be with the plants in my nerdy way and making things. And helping.
So does she. So does Stacy.
I heard about your gardening thing, and I was like, yeah. The last podcast we were talking about, I just want to be gardening and be like, my 60-year-old self. I said, I've been that person since I was 12. So I understand how you feel.
Soul sisters.
Yeah. But today's, I did a little bit of skullcap for anxiety, and I did some spearmint and lemon balm. What else? This is the problem when you don't do anything exact. Oh, and nettle. I always drink nettles. Energy, vitality, full of iron. So I needed something to just calm me a little bit and get rid of the nerves.
I am also drinking an Amelia's Apothecary tea. And although I'm not endorsing anyone right now. I'm endorsing the city of Portland, Oregon, which is my favorite city on earth. I am drinking the Om tea.
Oh yeah.
Which is always lovely.
I love how you say you mixed your stuff to make your tea too, because I've started doing that with your teas. I do. So I have the nighttime tea and I mix it with the indigo tea. So I mix a little bit, I do a little mix and match on there.
I've not had the indigo.
Yeah, that will give you some fucked up dreams, guys. One night I just took it straight and I literally kept it, and I usually don't remember my dreams too well, but I was remembering dream after dream after dream. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a dream parade going on in my head.
I say it won't make you have nightmares, but you're gonna get some very clear dreams. So it is good to drink if you need answers. Right?
Yeah.
If you need something to come to you. You have a big decision. Sometimes your subconscious can raise up in a dream, and you'll see that. Which is very cool.
For those of you that are listening and don't know what Amelia's Apothecary is, Alicia, can you tell us a little bit about Amelia's Apothecary and the types of products?
Yes, Amelia's Apothecary. I am Alicia. I am not Amelia. Amelia is my daughter. She's almost 5. And I named it after her because she inspired me to dive into herbalism on a deeper level when she was born, and to use plants as remedies for all manner of ills. So Amelia's Apothecary is full of plants. We have over 100 different bulk organic herbs in stock. And then on top of that, we actually make majority of our products. These are all my time-tested recipes for topical, reasons. And then we also have some really great internal remedies as well, tinctures and tonics and things like that. But being downtown Dunedin, we also have lots of cool gifty items as well. I'm really proud of our place in that it's not just me making everything, but I've partnered with a lot of local Floridian families and women who make things, and they sell items in our store too. And I love that, to support other makers who maybe can't say I need a storefront, but this is what I do and I'm good at it. Great. We like to sell their products in our store too. So everything is pretty much all handmade. It's organic. We don't sell anything with chemical synthetics, no fragrance oils, no harsh preservatives, nothing like that. That's very important to me. If you're treating yourself with plants medicinally, if they've been sprayed in chemicals, it's kind of counterintuitive. So that having a place for people to go and know that I've done like thorough research on everything we sell makes me feel good about representing this company and creating this company.
And can I just say that I am absolutely obsessed with your store. I've already been in there twice this week to buy different items. And it's just, I love your store so much because like you said, everything's unique and like different recipes. And like, I really honestly believe that you like care, like, and you actually want to help people. Like when I had my shingles things, I was just like, hey, do you know anything? And you're just like, hold up. And like, you gave me this whole list of like stuff to do. And I was like, you actually took the time out and cared and like knew your shit, like of what you were telling me, and it worked. Like it was fantastic. But that's why I love your store. You could feel the caring.
I want, like, that makes me keep doing it. I'm not, I have a business minded sense, but I don't like to be in front of a camera. I don't like to, I have a wonderful, wonderful person who does all of our social media because that's just not what I'm good at. And that's not where I shine. But you know, when you approach me privately, hey, here's what's going on. And I was like, well, you know, this is what I have experience with that may work. That is the best. That's what feels so great. So I'll tell people like, email me, stop in to see me. I do what I can. I loved how last podcast you said you put my disclaimer in there, which I love because I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose you.
Yes.
I am not any of those things, but I can tell you my experience with particular remedies. And that has been what herbalists for years have been doing, and prior to that had been doing as primary care doctors, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. I always like to say we don't do alternative medicine. I don't like that word because alternative is technically what we're doing now. This was medicine older than anything that we're experiencing in the pharmaceutical world. So to say it's alternative is kind of incorrect. And that whole, that whole industry is just different than what we're doing.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I like to dub you as my witch doctor. Cause it's true. Like you said beforehand, hundreds of years, like Native Americans were using herbs in the land and stuff to cure like different like ailments. And it worked for people for so many years until, modern medicine came around. And so that's why I am a big believer in herbal medicine. I just love that you know what you're talking about, so I don't have to like online research it from a bunch of crazy people on Reddit.
There are conditions and issues and all kinds of things I'm constantly learning and researching. I'm so far behind other amazing herbalists, even in this area. So I love constantly learning and expanding my herbal knowledge is great.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because you do know so much, you're so knowledgeable on so much, I feel. How did you learn everything? Is there like a course that you went through, or did you just learn on your own?
I did a ton of learning on my own. I learned, I've learned my learning style is a little bit different than what I see as being typical and what's provided. So I was able to like cherry pick and find ways for me to learn that were quickest way for me personally. But when people ask me, there's some amazing online courses you can take in herbalism, whether you want to do them online or you actually want like a paper book or a binder, they'll send you that. There is a great school in St. Petersburg called Tradition School of Herbal Medicine. And if you are a one-on-one learner and you want to learn in person, go there. Even if you're interested in having a herbal consultation, go to the school. They'll do herbal consultations. You can get exposed to herbalism, and their instructors are insanely knowledgeable on things I'm leagues behind. So I tell people, go check out that school. And there are Rose up in, I believe she's in the West Chase area. She's a great herbalist. So the resources are here. There are lots of local resources for people to learn, or you can just there's many great online programs as well.
Do you tend to grow all your own herbs, or do you get them in bulk from somewhere?
Yeah, so I grow a lot of my herbs. I have people ask me, do you grow all these herbs? And I'm, in my dreams, I do. Yes, in my beautiful, like 70-acre farm that is a perfect balance of humid and rain. Yes, I grow all of these. But I cannot grow all of those. There's no way. I try to source from local farmers, or at least farm direct, meaning there's no middleman, and I just call the farmer and they send. I'm still working on that. It's been a really long process to try to get on a farmer's order docket to be, you're basically reserving the crop, right? Otherwise, I choose suppliers who have sustainable practices, have organic certifications, and are properly treating their employees and staff. I grow a lot at my house, none of it to sell. I go through it way too fast. So I grow a lot of herbs.
That's your private stash.
That's my private stash. That's right. And by no means is my home garden certified organic. I don't use any chemicals on my plants. That's why I'm constantly out there battling all kinds of Florida critters. But we have patchouli out there. We have comfrey and rosemary and elderberry and cayenne pepper. I grow sage. And then like all your basics, like your parsley, cilantro. Cilantro's a little tricky here. And lots of basils, lots of different basils back there too.
You're going to have to let me know how you grow sage, because I think that would be awesome to learn, because I use sage all the time. I would love to grow my own sage, because that would be awesome.
I grow a garden sage, which we have white sage in the store. It is a sustainable white sage. White sage is very popular to smudge. And if you're not familiar with smudging, it is a very ancient practice, predominantly done by Native Americans, to clear the energy of a room. It's the simplest way to explain that. But white sage is an endangered plant now because of many like Instagram and Instagram
every white girl out there
are real, right? Yes. So they are saging. But you can sage with garden sage. You can grow garden sage right here in Florida. You harvest it, cut it, dry it, and you can sage with garden sage just the same, and it's yours, and you grew it, and it's great. You could put some lavender in there with it, or rosemary if you wanted to, some cedar. All of those things can be used to smudge as well, and they are native. We can grow a lot of those things here.
I've heard that it's really good if you burn sage, it can get rid of mosquitoes. Like if you throw it into like a fire, like when you're outside, people have said it's good to keep that away.
I mean, and I think just you can do that with lemongrass too. My lemongrass grows, it is exploded here. Lemongrass grows really, really well here. Gardening is super therapeutic. It's so good for stress. So even if you have from 2 plants in a window to like acres and acres, I think it's one of the best things for stress and anxiety. And there's real science to being out in the earth with your hands and with your feet in the earth. It's the energetic, non-woo-woo thing.
Yeah.
I have some woo-woo things, but that one is not one of them.
Well, speaking of how much you want to learn more about herbs from Alicia, I know that you used to have classes at Amelia's. So do you have any, I know COVID kind of killed everything fun out there in the world. Do you have any idea when you'll start holding those again?
I think we'll play around in the fall. Ultimately, we have to make sure people are comfortable and safe. And we've had some people ask about online classes. I've talked to Stacy about potentially doing some online classes for us. I'm a perfectionist. I can't just stand with my phone and go, hi guys, here's the class today. I want proper lighting. I want you to be able to hear me. I want you to be able to type in questions if it's a live feed. So we would eventually like to work on that, but as I've said, I really don't like being on camera, so it's a me thing. It's not, it's not anyone else. And people say, they'll say,
What's so funny is like you say that, but you're so good on
Oh,
camera
yeah.
because I did the business spotlight on you before and then like this.
Yeah, you're doing fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I can turn it on, I guess, but it's not natural in that way at all. You can't see me sweating. So
All that tea. That tea is making you so happy right now.
yeah, it's all the magic in that cup. So that's doing it.
So sometime in the fall, possibly back in shop.
Yeah, we'll look at it. We did do a really cool DIY lip balm kit where we put everything you needed to make stuff at home. And we were just I was kind of playing to see like how popular those would be, and they went over really well. So we may be bringing other kits, like some salve making kits, stuff you can, I'm playing around with making like body scrubs at home and face serums and things like that. So we may be bringing other kits like that where you can go home and make your own stuff.
And then, of course, speaking of kits and do-it-yourself, we are going to shortly be doing elderberry syrup. What is it?
Syrup, yes.
Syrup.
Yeah, elderberry syrup making. Yes.
Will be your first class, online practice, your online class practice.
For our Stacy and Tia Do Stuff series that we have. So be sure to check that out. Hopefully it'll come out good. We haven't done it yet, so I can't talk it up too much, but so, we talked a little bit about how COVID has affected things. And I know a lot of people have health on their mind right now and immunity boosting, and with everything opening back up and people getting out in public again, what are some good, like all natural products that you guys sell or herbs that people should be buying?
Well, and so I thought of a few when and figured this would come up. There's products that are pre-made, and then there's herbs on their own. So sometimes when people come in, they're all about it. They want the individual herbs. They want to know how to make things, and I couldn't be more passionate than to tell them how to do that. But I also understand if you're like, yeah, I don't have time. My life is crazy, but I'm here. What can I just buy that's ready? And we have that too. Both are great. Some of the herbs I immediately think of when people ask about immunity are ones you would take as more of a tonic, which means you would take them regularly, all the time. When the news really got crazy with COVID, I immediately felt so grateful that my family, every flu season and pretty much throughout the entire year, were on immunity boosting tonics. So we're always thinking about staying well, especially we like to travel, so that's a lot of exposure. And we're always taking elderberry, especially for my daughter. She's, when you have little kids, they're picky, and a lot of herbs, though very effective, many are not delicious. So
I know that.
Yes, you have to take that into consideration with children. You don't want them screaming, running away from you as you're trying to give them something to help their little bodies. So elderberry syrup is delicious, and she knows to take that. We take that on a daily basis. And elderberry actually grows pretty well in Florida. There's some elderberry plants throughout some of the parks around here. I would not suggest you harvest or eat them because they're probably get doused in chemicals. But it is interesting to see them, and they're very antiviral. So for anything from flu to herpes, shingles, all of that, elderberry can help you there. And they're just immunomodulators, so they're going to pump up the immune system. You can make those in a syrup. You can do a tea. There's even people who've made elderberry wine. I like reishi mushroom for all of its an amazing immunomodulator, and it will actually help your body fight the initial onset of flus and viruses and sickness in general. Can help lower cholesterol. So reishi mushroom just in general is good to take as a tonic. And garlic, like aside from what we sell, just garlic, having organic garlic on hand, hit up Nature's Food Patch, and there's a lot of different ways you can prepare it. If you're not into garlic, you can pickle it. You can make it honeyed garlic. And the garlic, I always call nature's antibiotic because it will push everything out of your body that should not be there. So I keep that on hand, and Echinacea too. And Echinacea is tricky because a lot of people think, I'm sick, Echinacea. And I love Echinacea, but you really have to take that on the first onset of sickness. Like when you're like, ooh, what is that? That doesn't feel right. Get the Echinacea. But if you're already sick, Echinacea wouldn't be my first choice, but it does.
That's funny because I do that. I'm just like, I'm sick. I got to take my Echinacea.
Yeah, Echinacea is for the
It's like
onset.
too late.
It's good to have around, but I would prefer some of the other ones we talked about if you're already feeling ill. But Echinacea raises your body's defense to infection. And so that's good to have around if you start feeling sick. It is an endangered plant, so you have to be careful that you're buying from a sustainable source. It got crazy popular because everyone thought it would cure all of their sicknesses, and so now it's been a little bit depleted. So I like those for immunity. Products-wise, we have tinctures, which what tincture is very simply a liquid plant extract. It's typically alcohol-based, but we also have tinctures that are made with organic food-grade vegetable glycerin and apple cider vinegar. Those liquids, alcohol especially, really pulls out all of the properties of the herbs. You strain it out, and then you have a liquid plant extract. So like reishi mushroom. I love mushrooms, but reishi tastes super bitter. It's really good for you, but it's not like, you don't want to put it on like a pizza. So reishi mushroom tincture.
Give me that reishi mushroom pizza.
Yeah, adaptogen pizza. So reishi mushroom tincture, you can put a dropper full or so in a little bit of water and just drink that, and then you've taken your reishi mushroom dose. So tinctures are great because they're quick and fast. I know there's a lot of herbalists who really prefer tea and decoctions over tinctures, but I always say I'm like the herbalist for the people, because people, if they're not gonna do it, then it doesn't help. It's not going to help them if it sits in the back of their tea cabinet. And so I like tinctures for that reason. And you can take, we have an immune tonic tincture that you can take every day just to boost your overall immunity. I especially like it for people who are starting to go back to work, and even people who've worked from home and are just venturing out to see their friends again. Like, your immune system has been really bubbled for quite some time. It would be a good idea to boost that before you go out and venture out into the public again. And then we have, I have good friends who have immune disorders where they actually have to avoid immune boosting herbs because it could cause a flare up in their body. So for people dealing with that, you need to be cautious of immunomodulators. There are ones that a good friend of mine has taken that I've recommended, and subtly, and she hasn't had any issues, but always, consult your doctor, be careful if you've got an immune condition for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I actually have an autoimmune disorder, and I've always been told don't take the elderberry. So is out of the ones that you named, like the reishi mushrooms and stuff, like, are they safe? I mean, of course, consult your doctor, but
the thing about reishi is it's also an adaptogen, and what an adaptogen is a herb that would go in and help your body adapt to stress. It really helps your adrenals so that your flight or fight response doesn't have to be so pronounced. It helps all the levels come down. And so I love reishi for that as well. It does a lot of other things in addition to being an immune booster. So, for its adaptogen effects alone, I do like taking that. It is an immune stimulant. So anybody who would be interested in taking that who has an autoimmune disorder, I would say you need to baby steps for sure. Because I know, that even though I don't personally have an autoimmune disorder, the people I know who do, I mean, these flare-ups are no joke. They're really intense and certainly not worth experimenting with. So you'd have to play around with that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. Yeah. So, not to sound like a dummy, but when you were talking about tonics, okay, so as a former bartender, I always think like tonic, like gin and tonic,
Yeah, no, not a dumb question. So tonics are something, it's just meaning you can take it all the time. You can take a tonic regularly. And I have my morning tinctures I take and my evening ones. And then I have ones that I'll put in just for particular issues. We have a really great kidney cleanse tincture. And that's not something I personally need to take all the time, but it's good to have on hand. Our Happy Hormone tincture is phenomenal. It is probably one of our best sellers. And that for me will come out in relation to cycles. And it's so great because I love when people come in and they're like, I have kind of an embarrassing question. I'm like, I've talked about diarrhea. I've talked about erectile dysfunction. I've talked about night sweats and vaginal dryness. So bring it on.
Try me.
Talk about that.
You're like, I'll just make this a multiple choice question.
Yeah.
So tell me, is it one of these things?
Happy Hormone is vital during my cycle to help with mood, to help with cramps, to just make me feel like myself. It's fantastic. So these are all things that I would take once in a while versus a tonic being, like my immunity tonic. I'm taking an immune tonic every day. I take something for immunity. Every day I take something for like my central nervous system to help with stress and anxiety. We have a joy tonic that has been really popular as of late for mild depression because people are sad and things are hard. And so it's a really nice daily tonic to take to keep your stress from manifesting into something worse. So those are all good tonics to have around.
How many tonics would you say you personally take per day?
Tonics.
Just curious.
Tonic. Like three or four.
That's not bad.
The regular. Yeah, not a ton. I have a lot in my medicine cabinet for when conditions spring up.
Mm-hmm.
But I have like my regulars I take. And I always encourage people to like, don't go do that. Don't go get like 5 different tonics because now we have no idea what's working or what isn't working. Start slow, and you can always, if you start with something, you're like, wow, this is really helping me. Maybe I'd like to address ABC. Great, do it like incrementally. Like that is a good way to start.
That's true. Yeah. I was asking because I was just picturing you like Tia will know this reference, and I don't know if you ever watch Parks and Rec, but I've been really watching a ton of it lately. So I just picture like Chris Traeger with his duffel bag of supplements and vitamins. And
it's funny when I travel. So I have a lot of herbalists who buy our herbs and will put them in capsules. Being vegetarian with capsules is tricky because a lot of the times the capsules are made of animal. So yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Everything is made of animal.
So you can buy vegan capsules, but you have to look. So I love tea and tinctures so much. I would prefer to take them that way every time, right? We have people come in and they'll ask if we have capsules. I'm like, we don't do capsules. One, I don't want to sit and encapsulate all of these herbs. That's not fun.
Yeah.
And 2, your body will absorb a liquid extract tenfold over something that you have to put through your digestive system, especially if you have digestive issues. So I really appreciate the liquid extracts over a capsule. It's just faster absorption in your body. And that would go for CBD too. We carry CBD. We do a lot with CBD. Educating people on CBD is great. I love when someone walks in, they're like, isn't this marijuana? And I get to be like, well, so it's cannabis, and I can explain the whole thing. I love doing that, but I still prefer the liquid tincture, oil of CBD over like a capsule. Back to Parks and Rec. Yes. When I travel, I have all my so I don't have the vitamins, but I have all my clinky bottles and my bags of herbs. So traveling is really interesting and fun. I haven't had any major issues as of yet, but I bring these things with me because if I'm traveling and I know something comes up, I want to know that I have what I'm familiar with and what I know will work with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have all, yeah.
So I assume you do all natural remedies for things like headaches and stomach aches. And what are some good herbs or products that you sell that are good for, say, a headache or a stomach ache or some other kind of common ailment?
Yeah, we have a lot of people come in. I'd say the things people come in most for sure are headache and inflammation, sleep and insomnia, and stress and anxiety. So with headaches, we're so conditioned to like make the headache stop, pop a pill to make it go away. But the problem with that is it's just essentially cutting off the message from wherever that inflammation and pain is coming from to create this headache, so that you just don't feel it. So in herbalism, you really want to figure out, yes, let's treat the symptom, but why is this happening? Why are these headaches happening? Because you can keep masking it with a Band-Aid, but ultimately your body's telling you something is wrong. So let's find out what that something is. Temporary relief of headaches. We have a headache relief roller ball that's really nice to keep in your purse. If something springs up, you can put it on your temples. It's heavy on the wintergreen and lavender. So if it's a tension-based headache, it can constrict, your blood vessels are all constricted and tight, and it can help release some of that lymph to relax the head. And then I actually will make a really strong tea of pure lavender flower and some California poppy. And California poppy can help with nerve pain as well. And that is a really nice tea to drink if you've got a headache or you feel a migraine coming on. You can drink tea of lavender or California poppy. But I still would encourage that particular customer with that ailment to seek out why those are happening. And if you know the reason, you could probably eliminate the headaches entirely. I have taken CBD for headaches before too. If I take a pretty strong dose, that can knock out my headache as well.
I don't understand CBD. I don't understand kratom.
Yeah,
I would like to try these things, but I don't understand.
So it's a plant. That if you understand plants, you can understand CBD. We have a lot of tourism in our town, and we have tons of snowbirds. So minus ones from Canada who are like, we're well versed on this.
We got the real stuff legal.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll come down and from all areas of the country, and that generation was not exposed to cannabis in the way that other generations were. So, but I just love that they have questions, and I'm so happy that they're open to listen. And I always just describe cannabis up here, and cannabis can be grown as marijuana. It can be grown for CBD, and the CBD we sell in our store, the liquid tinctures there's no THC at all in any of our tinctures, gummies, nothing. Then we have CBD flower that I actually buy direct from a farmer in South Carolina, and that is still under the 0.3%. To legally be sold in Florida, it has to be under that 0.3% THC to be Farm Bill compliant. And that was a bill that went through in 2018 to allow CBD to be sold. And then it gets really gray. So if you ever want to start a CBD farm in Florida, this might not be for you. So, it's changing. There's, I think, a thought that like you're going to be high when you take it, and not the case at all. But you do get all of the benefits as far as relaxation, help with anxiety, helping with pain. I've had people come in who just even buy the topical lotion for their knee pain, and then they're able to feel completely better. And I've had people come back and say, I'm walking around downtown and I'm not in pain. And that's great. It's super rewarding. And they were really, on the fence about it to begin with.
And also have CBD products for pets too, right?
Pets. And same thing, I have a 15-and-a-half-year-old Maltese. And I give her CBD for her. It helps immensely with her arthritis. It'll help with separation anxiety, storms. If she gets real shaky, I can give her CBD. And it doesn't drug them. She's not just sedated and passed out, but her panting subsides. You can tell she's calm. She's just more of herself. So I love it for pets as well.
I give my cat CBD every night in his food because he has kind of like he's very jumpy. Like if he hears a sound, or like if anything happens, like he's very jumpy. And I was like, you have a lot of like anxiety going on for just being a house cat. Like you act like you've been attacked by like dogs or something. So, and it does, I have noticed a difference. Like he's gotten a lot nicer and like calmer from giving him the CBD in his food. So it definitely helps.
That's so good. And they're still themselves. They're just, not so.
Oh, he's still a dick. Yeah. He's just not as
He's strong.
I was hoping that would change, but
yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's funny because I sent some to my mom, and I know she was just kind of like, and a lot of people go, what's the point of this? Why wouldn't I just, you know, smoke? I said, well, the problem is that a lot of people will smoke marijuana and be intensely paranoid. And they feel out of body. They don't feel like themselves. Some people want that, but some people, that's terrifying. So with CBD, it's just so nice because you can experience the calmness, the peace that comes with that without feeling out of your mind, out of your body, paranoid. So there's a market for both. And I always tell other moms, especially, I said, you know, some days you still have to parent. You can't just be feeling funky all the time. And so it's nice to have something to take that's like, you know what, it's like liquid patience. That's what it is. And I feel good about that.
There you go. And I can attest because I've tried the CBD at your place, like the roll before, and then I have my green card, so I smoke too. And it's definitely like a difference. Like it's not that whole like paranoia or like I'm gonna sit on the couch and watch Netflix all like night because I'm so stoned type of thing. It's just like I can go about my everyday life and I just feel, you know, just chill.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yeah, you can absolutely like keep, you know, you can run your errands, you can go to work. It's just, you're just going to be more calm and relaxed. And it is, everything's crazy right now. So I don't know anyone who's able to say right now that they don't have any anxiety. Like, props to you. You must be like a yoga master, or I don't know if you're just very good at meditation, but with everything that's going on and so much true like sadness that's happening, the need for plants, I feel like, will be even greater to help us with anxiety and to relax.
Yeah. So where can people buy your products? Tell our listeners where you're located. I know that you also have an online shop.
We are at 350 Main Street, right around the corner from Cafe Al Fresco. So we actually face the Ocean Optics parking lot. We are in the same little line of businesses there as the Celtic Shop and Suncoast Beach Company, Dipped and Sprinkled. We'll buy all of them. And we also have, I'm very proud of our website. It's emeliasapothecary.com, and you can shop 24/7 on the website. We ship out orders. We have over 200 plus products on there that you can purchase, and I will ship it right to you. So we have that option as well. I don't have our CBD and kratom on there yet. So merchant processing for CBD products is really interesting because there's so many different laws state by state, but I'm happy to take your order over the phone. And
I was wondering about that because I was like, I wonder if there was, when I was looking at your online shop, I was like, I wonder if there's like some law or regulation that you can't like online sell that kind of stuff.
Well, you can sell it online. What's unfortunate is when you design a website, it depends on your platform if they will allow it, your card processor. So I use a card processor that will not allow the sale of any CBD products whatsoever. They even made me take down our hemp seed oil, like the top of it. So it depends who you, and then unfortunately with that, the fees for CBD sales from your payment processor are really high.
Oh,
so
I'm
that
sure.
would apply to all the products on the website. So it's just weird.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to
take
those over the phone or by email. We can do that as well.
All right, Alicia, are you super excited to be our first guest to answer all of these questions that I have stolen from inside the actor's studio?
I'm not sure. Yes, I am.
So at the end of Inside the Actor's Studio, James Lipton, R.I.P. James Lipton, he would ask the same set of questions to each of his guests to see what their responses were. But he stole them from something called a pivot questionnaire. So it's just, we're in a long line of stealing questions from whoever they were. So I don't feel bad about doing it. So we're switching it up, and we will start with your favorite word.
Favorite word. Ooh. Ooh, I know so many words I don't like.
Oh, that's question 2.
Okay, all right, I'm ready for that one. I like the word moonlight.
Ooh.
Yeah,
What is your least favorite word?
moist.
It's every girl's, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite curse word?
Okay, I don't swear. I rarely swear, not on purpose, but I have a little person around me all the time, unless, or I'm in the store, which is not appropriate. So I've taken to saying, like Charlie Brown, rats. And so now my kid also is like, oh, rats. She's mad about things. But when I'm away, yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
That feels weird. There's no nothing behind it. It's like a mouse swearing.
Yeah. What animal would you want to be?
Maybe something that could fly for sure, but not like a butterfly. Super short lifespan. Wouldn't want to live 8 days or whatever.
Everlasting butterfly.
Yeah, like a vampire butterfly. That's what I'm gonna go with.
I like it. We can go mythical. It's our show, so
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Don't ask Tia about the unicorns, though. Do not ask Tia about the unicorns.
Well, what was that? Unicorns? All right, so here's the story.
It'll be 8 hours later when you finally find out.
What
But
animal would
you can check out a past episode of Stacy and Tia Do Stuff.
Yeah. What animal would you never want to be?
A cockroach. I'm sorry. By the way, palmetto bugs are cockroaches.
Yes, but they're terrifying.
Yeah. That was an adjustment, and I was like, ew, there's a roach. There's a cockroach over there. Oh, no, it's a palmetto bug. Don't worry. That's a cockroach.
It's a flying cockroach.
Yeah.
I would not, not that. Mm-mm.
All right. What is your favorite kind of cereal? Right after the cockroach conversation.
There's a Cascadian Farms makes their organic, non-chemical version of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I'm a fan. It's actually better than regular Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's pretty yummy.
What is your least favorite kind of cereal?
And any sugar, Fruit Loops, any of those, I'm not eating those.
Sugar in a box.
I'm not eating those.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I would love to be a farmer. I would love to grow officially. Like a flower farm would be high up on my list.
What profession would you never like to do?
Ooh. Anything for me personally, I know many people in the corporate world who are very happy, but if I had to sit at a desk and, have water cooler talk, no, that would not be for me. Desk, computer, big office building, nothing with that, none of that.
If you died tomorrow, what is one thing you would want the world to remember about you?
Oh, that I was kind, that I was nice to people, and that I gave people a chance.
Well, we have a coloring page for you, which will be very appropriate. It's a Meet Us on Main Street themed coloring page from Margot from Inky Fingers. So we had her custom make us a coloring page. And so you will be receiving that digitally, and you'll have something to color. It has some pretty flowers like the one in the back too, so it'll be perfect.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Alicia, for being on our show today. As you've probably heard throughout the interview, I am obsessed with Amelia's Apothecary, and I absolutely love her shop and think that everyone should go into it. She is my personal witch doctor, and she's amazing. So please go to her store and buy a bunch of stuff. And she does online, so you can even shop from home.
There's a lot of really cool stuff in there, and it always smells so good, and I love that all of her products are made by women.
Yes.
So
and she picks out
I actually did a video on her, also a chamber spotlight video.
Right, we'll be posting that on our Facebook page too, for easy to find, to see some of the insides of the whole place. So we also have another edition of Stacy and Tia Do Stuff, where she teaches us how to make elderberry syrup. So That will be quite fun as well. And that'll be coming out sometime next week.
Tia, what events do you have coming up? Do you have anything coming up this week? Because I got something. And it
Ooh, she's
involves
got
you.
things.
On the day that this podcast will be airing, we will be participating in the Dunedin Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours virtual meeting for International Picnic Day, hosted by
Done
Tia
Classy Events.
from Done Classy Events.
And then what is my new moniker now?
Oh, you are a self-proclaimed picnic basket packing expert.
I learned from the best, and his name was Yogi Bear. Not Beara, Yogi Bear. Hey,
Also,
hey,
she never self-proclaimed. I started the rumor that she self-proclaimed that.
Yes, that's going to be a lot of fun.
So it's going to be hosted by Tia with Done Classy Events and Hopscotch Cafe. So if you're interested, check out the Done Classy Events page on Facebook, also the Dunedin Chamber of Commerce page. And you can order a charcuterie to go platter from Hopscotch with either a bottle of wine or 4-pack of beer. Sorry, I had to swallow it. A lot of saliva in my mouth. So you can buy one of those packages to put in your picnic basket that Tia will teach you how to pack.
And then the reason why Stacey thought of me was actually because my date night packages that I offer is usually either a beach picnic or a park picnic, and I have this beautiful red picnic basket. So I am somewhat of a proclaimed picnic basket connoisseur. Picnic packing.
See?
Sure. I know. So
that's what I've been saying all along.
And speaking, if you ever want a date night, after you see my amazing skills, you can always email me at doneclassyevents@gmail.com. Self-promote, why not? And then on Sunday is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day for all the fathers out there that actually decide to stick around and be decent human beings. My Father's Day, my mother is my father. And it's not a South Park thing where, like with Cartman, how his mother was his father. Not one of those situations. But, you know, my dad, or I don't even call him that. I call him the sperm donor. The sperm donor is not around, so my mom stepped up. So happy Father's Day to all of you single mamas out there that stepped up their game.
Or decent fathers out there that did not leave.
Exactly. No, or definitely the fathers that actually stayed around and stuck with their children. And then also on Father's Day, there's a beginner French braid workshop at Lottie Dog Kids Spa.
Perfect thing to take your dad to.
Yeah. Or again, the single mamas, you can take it out for that. Actually, I would love to take this because I've never been able to French braid, but I've always wanted to be able to do it. So I would actually even love to do that. Next event on my calendar is 6/25, which is a Thursday. It's at 7 p.m. It is Yoga and a Pint at Divine Brewery. That's over in Palm Harbor off of Alt 19. Always a fun time when you can do yoga and drink. So definitely check that out. They have a giant space too. So social distancing shouldn't be any worries at that place. And then my last event that I've got, because it is still slim pickings, but we're starting to grow up there, is on 6/28 at 12 p.m., which is a Sunday, is at Hob. They're having their vegan food truck rally, which I'm super excited about because I'm trying to eat more vegan food.
I have an event on June 29th, and that is professional headshot sessions at the Fenway, which my business, Edgewater Creative, will be doing the photos, and Salon GW is going to be doing hair and makeup. So if you need to update those headshots of yours, it's so important to have professional headshots for your business. If you are any kind of professional, really, that is your brand. So, especially nowadays, there's so many Zoom meetings. You don't want to have a crappy selfie up on your screen when you're not showing your video. You want to have something that represents you and your business and you as a professional. So if you are looking to update those, they will be happening on June 29th between 10 and 4 at the Fenway in Dunedin. And you do have to register in advance. You can do so on the Dunedin Chamber of Commerce website, which is dunedinfl.com. And if you click on events, you can find information on there.
Do you need to be a chamber member for that one or no?
You do not need to be a chamber member.
Awesome.
So it can be anyone. And like I said, all day 10 to 4. So just register, pick your spot, and you're good to go.
And you know, it's funny when you mentioned the Zoom meetings with the photos, I feel like I'm one of the few people that actually has a photo. Most people just have their names. So some people aren't even putting the photo up. And I really would suggest, if you are doing things virtually through Zoom meetings, have a photo up. Because if you don't want to be on the video, which is absolutely fine if you don't want to do that, but at least have like a picture so that people can put your like name with a face so that they can at least see something there. And then a headshot is the best one. Don't do no duck face selfie for like, yes, Stacy just popped up with hers. And then I'll show mine because
Well, don't show yours because yours isn't a professional one.
It's professional enough. Look how hot I look. That's all that matters. I know mine is a selfie, but I always use this as my headshot, even though it is in a car. But my makeup, I did a photo shoot that day and my makeup just looks so damn hot that I use that for everything now. So
if you're watching this video on the YouTube, here once again is a sample of the headshot you can be getting. Insert your headshot here.
Insert there. But yeah, it's nice to have that because, like, look, you still see your name down at the corner, and you have a face to do it too. So
I get so many compliments on that too. You know, not to toot my own horn or anything, but
of course not. We never do that.
But no, what you were saying about just the name, it's like I hate that especially when I'm hosting a meeting and I don't know what the person looks like. I've maybe never met them before, or maybe I have and I just don't recognize the name. At least that way I see a face and I'm like, oh, okay.
And at least like
that
with this
person.
too. Yeah, if you're a new member to something or you haven't really been haven't done a lot of networking with certain things and you're doing that, like you said, there's a face to put with the name and then it's better.
Exactly.
And then that's it, guys. So I hope y'all are staying safe out there. Remember, 6 feet apart, wear your masks. Even when we're all out, we're in this together. We are here for you. Not physically.
We personally are here for you.
Yes,
so
exactly. That's why
feel free to reach out anytime on our email. Meet us on Main Street Podcast at gmail.com.
If you ever want to say anything,
reach out on Facebook.
Yeah,
what's that?
If you ever want to say anything to us that you would like read on the air, maybe you have a fun story, we'll take that. We'll take any email suggestions. So
also we have advertising opportunities available starting at just $15. So if you do want to reach out and promote your business through the podcast, feel free to shoot us an email.
And then after all of that, after you listen to our episodes, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. We appreciate it so much. Sometime in the future, we will be doing another giveaway. But if you review us at any time, you'll still be entered into that giveaway. So we really appreciate any of that.
And if it's nice, perhaps we'll read it aloud on our next episode.
Well, I mean, if it's mean, we're going to find you and egg your house. But, besides, that's besides the point. So, sorry, I should rephrase that. Rate, 5-star review, and subscribe. As always. But all right, until we meet all you crazy cats and kittens again, I say goodbye.
Bye.